Hello and welcome. Welcome, friends. Welcome, family. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Without you, where would I be? Not here. And I love it here. Go ahead and pull up a chair. Let me get you a cup of coffee or whatever your favorite beverage is. And let's go ahead and have our little tarot and coffee with Olivia. This is your Timeless Tarot. I'm Olivia, and I'm here to do your timeless reading. Today we're using our Krans Wild Unknown Archetype deck. Very exciting. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get out the deck right now so you can kind of look at it while I'm talking. And what are we going to talk about? Well, I did introduce myself. If this is your first time here, this is going to be easy, okay? I'm trying to shuffle these so that you can kind of see the artwork on them. And I am going to go in slow motion because these cards are not the easiest to shuffle. Okay. All right. I was going to say, if it's your first time here, it's easy to do. Follow along with the video. We've got card toppers. I'll tell you all about it in just a minute. In fact, I can't seem to shuffle and say what I need to say at the same time because I'm really all about this art. And each of you got 3 cards to represent your couple of days ahead. However, you know, kind of something to think about. All right, let's go ahead and let's take care of business. Let's do the housekeeping in. Go ahead and like this video for me. I really appreciate it if you do. If you want to hit the dislike button, that's okay too. But hit one of those buttons. Let me know how you feel. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to be able to find me again. It's easy to do. There are a lot of card readers. There are a lot of coffee card readers and all that. So just go ahead and subscribe, and that way you can find me. If you hit that notification bell, then you'll know when I upload a video. And I do them intermittently and not at the same time every week, and not even the same amount of times every week, but at least 2 or 3 times a week I'll upload a video. And if you've hit that notification bell, you know that it's up. Most importantly, come back to see me. I skipped the part about sharing the video with those that you think might like it, but that's because really, come back and see me. That's really the most important part. If you enjoyed this, there might even be another one that's even more enjoyable coming up for you. I'm going to have a little sip of coffee. Okay, do remember that these are general readings, okay? We're reading for a lot of different people here. So do take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Don't make life-altering choices or decisions based on this or any other video. Pick a card. But you can connect with me on Keen, and my info is below in the information box here on YouTube. And so this is how it works. So we've got these card toppers, and they correspond with timestamps that are in the description video. You can choose one group, or you can choose 2 groups, or you can choose all the groups. In fact, at the end I kind of do a culmination and look for a common theme and talk a little bit more about the cards. So these cards are very in-depth, and they can get really deep, and so I did take some notes, so you might be hearing that in the background. However, I'm going to try not to use the notes too much, because really that was just for me to know where I was coming from and study. So if you need a little time to pick your card, pick your pile, pick your card topper, go ahead and pause the video and take that time. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and have one more sip of coffee, and then I'm going to get started, okay? I needed that coffee today. All right, let's go ahead and start with the... Oh, I haven't shown the card toppers up close. Let me show them up close in case y'all want to. That's our pearl butterfly, and then we have our pink butterfly, and then we have our starburst, and last but not least, our golden leaf. Okay. All right, now we'll see what's under the butterfly. Okay. All right. The ocean, the empty room, and Anima Mundi. Okay. The ocean. The ocean is fairly self-explanatory. It is our origin, right? It's where we come from. It's also considered our unconscious. So the depths of our unconscious. Also, all the incomprehensible power that is beyond our understanding, our subconscious. What this card is saying, I mean, in and of itself, it's saying that your consciousness is stirring, that things are coming to the surface. Okay, now we're going to move on to the empty room and talk about that for a minute. Now, the empty room creates a space, and it creates a space that oftentimes in this world that we live in, we want to fill it, and we want to fill it, and it becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? It becomes something we want to fill. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read. So the room is also known as the vortex, the abyss, the empty room, the nothing. It creates lack. It creates a feeling of wanting. It creates a feeling of craving. And it creates a culture of more. But don't go out and buy a bunch of stuff for this room, because the room is filled with something else right now. It's filled with potential. And this card is going to tell you what you're going to fill this room with, okay? Because this is your Anima Mundi. Anima Mundi is accept all, reject none. It's everything. It's everything. It is the collective unconscious. If you've never heard that term, it's the soul of the world. It's all that is. It's the connected, this is the best way to say it. It is the connected fiber that makes life meaningful, that connects us all together. What this group is saying to you right now is that you're actually going through an awakening of sorts, that you're actually becoming more aware of this connectedness, getting away from materialism, and more things are coming to the surface from your subconscious, from the collective unconscious, in order to fill the void that you've been feeling and wanting to fill. And oftentimes, yes, we do want to fill that with things that we don't need, with materialism. And what we need is more spiritualism. Not everybody believes that, but that's what we're reading here. I'll go ahead and go into, we'll look at that a little bit more closely later on. When we do the culmination, we'll look at more of that. We'll look at those cards and see what else we can come up with. But right now, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to move on to our other butterfly here. We're going to see what cards you have. Alethea. Truth. The Castle. The Tear. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Tear. So for me, guys, crying is never something I enjoy. It's always something that makes me feel weak. I never want anybody to see me doing it. When I do it, I feel out of control. I feel weak. I feel vulnerable. And the thing is, it's right to feel that, because when you're crying, people will take advantage of you. Crying out in public, people will try. Some people will try to help. But regardless of what outside people will do, crying is important to our emotional health and our physical health as well. The tear is actually one of the strongest things to break down ego. Okay, I'm going to look at my notes. Let me see, where's my notes. Okay, so they also call this mourning, as in mourning a loss. They also call this a release. They also call it the rain. We need this. It said that tears are powerful in softening the ego. We sense our humanity, our vulnerableness, our humility allows ourselves to be comforted, held, and there is, with this card, there is grieving left to do. So there is a reason for you to be feeling tearful. You know what I like to do? It makes me feel a little more in control. Purposely watch a movie that I know is going to make me cry, so that I can release those tears without feeling so weak, without feeling like I'm feeling sorry for myself, because I can cry for what's going on in the movie, even though I may be releasing feelings that have happened with myself. Okay, so the tear, the castle. The castle, again, is about materialism. The castle this is a different kind of castle than what you might see in a tarot reading, okay? It's going to have a little bit different meaning. So it's also known as the palace or the penthouse. Abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, lavish adornment, and yet the walls are thick and shadowy. The halls are drafty and cold. And there are places where the light never reaches. The castle. This card shows a tendency to hold on to possessions or even positions. Positions of power. Okay? I lost my place in my notes. Okay, positions that project an image. When really what you want is to run barefoot through the grass into the forest. So let's move on to Aletheia, which is truth. Pure and simple, basic, an act of truth, a conversation about truth, a gesture, a poetic act. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your own vital energy and your health. I'm learning that firsthand. I am learning that firsthand. I tried to bury my truth. I tried to put it behind me. But really the best way with your truth is to go through it, to acknowledge it, because it is a part of you. And just because you're acknowledging your truth, even if it's something that happened way in the past, something that maybe you should have let go of at this time, it's still a part of you. So don't be afraid to talk about it, to let that be your truth, to cry about it if you need to. Okay. So where is the castle fitting in here? It's just talking about being wary of trying to fill that void that we have with materialism, instead finding our truth, feeling our feelings, and knowing where we came from so that we can truthfully know who we are, so that we can more fully go where we're going. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's under the starburst. Okay, the village, the medallion, the vow. See what I mean by this Kim Krans deck is so very intense, right? And the art is incredible. Okay, I'm going to get my notes. Okay. The village. Okay, the village, the village. It can also be known as the hometown, the family, the tribe. It's the place that feels most like home. Here's the thing. It's the place that we must leave to grow up. The world awaits. So the dark side of the village would be like gossipy, feeling trapped, feeling restricted. And this is what makes us leave the nest. This card is about leaving the nest, and going out into the world. The world awaits, okay? Remember that you can always come back. So you're not leaving forever. Let's move on to the medallion. The medallion is a gift. It's a sacred object. It could be, basically it is an object that denotes a promise. So it's almost like a gift with strings attached, but not quite. That is mentioned, but that's not where we're going with this, okay? So, all right, I'm just going to read the medallion to you, okay? A sacred object, a jewel. It may bind us to a spoken or unspoken agreement or promise. Be aware of your expectations and others' expectations of you. It's time to reconcile the vibration of objects around you. So, do you need to release some things that you've been hanging on to, like things? Or maybe there's someone or something or a commitment that's time to let go of. And that's what this card is talking about. Now, interestingly enough, we come to the vow. The vow is similar in a lot of ways. Words and intention have great power. Synonyms for the vow are words that mean similar. Are promise, oath, covenant. Making that promise activates the eternal forces of the world. Promises cannot be said or forgotten. So either acknowledge and live by your word, or create a ritual that will bring closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. So this is saying you either need to recommit to your vow or your promises, or you need to bring closure to them. And with this medallion and with the village, it's time to let go. It's time to grow up. It does look like it's time to figure out what it is that you want and where you're going, and really think about what kind of vows have you made? What kind of promises have you made? What kind of responsibilities do you have? And is it time to do something different? And if it is, don't just leave that behind. Don't just forget your promises. You need to bring closure to that so that you can move forward and or recommit to them. Interesting. All right, let's see what we have under the leaf. Last but not least, the animal. The womb. The comic. Love it. Oh, man. See what I mean by these Kim Krans cards? Oh, my goodness. Something, something, something. Get on the right page here. Okay, I want to talk about the comic first. The comic, it takes a sharp mind and will to make some of the people laugh some of the time, and a genius who can step back and see the long picture and laugh instead of being swept up in the drama. The comic is a healer, bringing sage and magician healing and humor. Healing through humor is a magical endeavor, and all humor is healing. I don't know. I don't know about mean humor. Mean humor can be detrimental. But anyway, I'm not going to beef with that. Let's look at the womb. Well, of course, the beginning beyond the beginning. Return to the warmth and tenderness of unconditional love in the form of creation. The great mother of all forgives, even cherishes the worst of us at our very worst. No matter how lost we are, we can always return. We're always welcome home. And the animal. We're mammals, guys. We're mammals. And our hormones, while they may not dictate what we do, they do have a huge effect on how we're feeling and how we act. It does. They do. They do. So what is this whole thing talking about? Step back. Look a little bit further away. See things with humor. Remember that you can return to the womb, to the unconditional love, and feel safe to let go of some restrictions and go out and feel your animal self. It said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. So go to a safe place. Let go of social constructs and constraints and howl at the moon. Get out in nature. Enjoy your physicality. Breathe deeply and growl and you feel like it. And that's what we have for you. And oh my goodness, I was so nervous I didn't realize that we're at the end. Look at that. Look at that. I know it's really kind of silly that I'm nervous, that I do get nervous about this, but I do, because you guys are my friends, and I really enjoy it. But what I'm nervous about is that I don't know what I'm nervous about. Anyway, thank you again for being here. Do take what resonates with you. Did I say this? You can choose a few or all, and it says, anyway, this is for entertainment purposes. Of course, there are some things, oh yeah, we didn't do the very ending, did we? Duh. I knew there was something going on that I wasn't considering. Okay, let's let's go ahead and just pick them all up, and then we'll put them down. Okay, the tear. Cry. The empty room is full of potential. The collective unconscious. You have the knowledge of the universe all around you. It's available to you. The ocean. There are things coming to the surface you're realizing. You're making some realizations and growing. You're understanding your truth. You're understanding that materialism isn't always the answer, and that you can find warmth in community. The vow, you're starting to understand your promises and how much power they actually have. With the village, you're getting ready to leave the village, the comfort of the village, and go out into the world and explore, knowing that you can always come back. The medallion, again, has a lot to do with these promises. The medallion is usually a magical object, something that seals a promise. Something or a vow or a commitment. Look over those vows and commitments that you've made in the past. Are you being honorable? Are you honoring them? If not, it may be time to find some closure in that. The animal. Cut loose, man. Let yourself be you. Let go of some of the restraints. With the womb, know that there is unconditional love. If you have never felt it, it's still there. You may have not experienced this from a person in your life. And that's why we have the collective unconscious here that you can access. That is what a lot of people are doing when they're meditating. They're accessing that collective unconscious, that feeling of love. In fact, a lot of people meditate in order to feel the love. And it is very, very powerful, and it will make you cry. And it's not something that happens to everybody when they meditate, and it's not something that happens every time you meditate. But I've experienced it, and it is extremely powerful. And if you have something like that coming your way, that's just the trash truck outside. Don't worry about it. Or who knows what it is. I think that's what it is. I think that's the trash truck. And remember the comics in your life. If this isn't you, and this may be you, I'm thinking of a couple people in particular. Comics are geniuses, and they heal you by making you laugh. They really do have a lot of spiritual energy that comes through. And so now we're at the end, so it's not that bittersweet, or it is that bittersweet, but it wasn't as bittersweet before, and now I'm just blah, blah, blahing, right? Okay, hit that thumbs up if you haven't hit it already. Hit that thumbs up for our wild, unknown archetype deck for Kim Krans. I'm going to, of course, link her in the bottom of the video. Otherwise, I will see you next time. I very much look forward to it. And TTFN, ta-ta for now.